Now to the topic of dating. For a while, many people were turning to the apps to find love, and some still are, but lately there's been a growing push to bring back dating in real life. And that's the goal of a comedy dating show that's coming to Seattle tomorrow. It's called Love Isn't Blind. The catch, men can't speak. Yes, you heard me correctly. And here to share more and tell us how it all works is the show's creator, producer, and host, Allison Goldberg. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This is so interesting. I need to unpack, so tell us how this dating show works.
So it's a dating show where the men can't speak, as you said, because sometimes straight men should be seen but not heard. So it's an elimination style game show.
Oh.
So the first round is a rapid fire yes or no round where they can only do thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Round 2 is always something crafty. Round 3, I call the boys' moms live on stage. Round 4, I search their phones, and
You search their phones?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a great time.
What's been the craziest thing you found on someone's phone?
Things I can't say on the news.
Okay, exactly. Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen the pics you're wondering if I've seen.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Enough said. How does comedy really play a role throughout, and is like that common theme?
Yeah. So it's really comedic the whole time. Some of it is like the juxtaposition of the questions in round 1. Like, I often ask, like, do you go to therapy? And then the very next question is, again, something I can't say on television, but like, what I think is fun actually is how wild and rowdy it is, and then we call the moms, and sometimes we get these really heartwarming stories.
Aww.
But it's mostly comedy, and it's fun when the heartwarming moments almost feel earned, and I've had like really amazing calls with the mothers.
Oh, can you give us any little like?
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes the moms throw their son under the bus, and like that's the best.
They're not ready. They're not ready for.
I won't throw a man under the bus, but your mom might. But I've also had like, I mean, it's sad, but I've had these amazing stories where a mom will say, I had cancer, and my son like took a year off work and came home and took care of me. Like, we have really amazing stories. Like, some of the feedback I love from the show is when people say, I've never cried at a show, both from like laughing and just like
biggest
heartwarming.
compliment.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And
it's
success stories. What can you tell me? Has anyone gotten together? Gotten married?
Yeah, we have a ton of success stories, and it's shocking to me as well. But we have a marriage. Yeah, we have multiple people have moved in together.
Okay.
And I will say, like, I joke my onstage success rate is like somewhat questionable, but it's a lot of success stories from the audience because everyone who enters gets a wristband based on their relationship status. So you get a green wristband if you're single, red if you're taken, yellow if you're confused. We have poly purple, we have bisexual blue, we have pride wristbands, we have the whole cornucopia. And so the show turns into an after party. So like I have a bachelorette who's living with a guy she just moved in with a guy she met in the audience. And then I also have a lot of success stories where the bachelorette ends up dating someone she eliminated. I just found out about another one of those down in San Diego, and he's joking like never sleep on third because he was actually eliminated. He was in third place, but now he's first place. So, but yeah, it's like a really good silly time, and I just want to create an environment where everyone can actually talk to each other.
And why did you want to take dating off the apps and really go back to dating in real life? I feel like this is so important because the apps can be difficult.
They're a hellscape. Yeah. So I just think like, well, first of all, I think anyone who's been on the apps has that experience where you show up for the date and you're like, oh, I would never have given you my phone number. You know what I mean? But now I'm here and I have to be polite for the next hour, and it's not good for either side. But I also think with dating apps, we just don't have enough data points. Like, this is just a total stranger. There's no one vouching for this person, like especially as a woman, that can be kind of scary. So I think we definitely need to bring back real life. And at the show, if you're in a relationship and you come to the show, at the after party, if you're a good wing person and you set people up and you can prove it to me, I'll give you a prize. And it is, I think it's decriminalized in the state of Washington, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at there. Are you still looking for people to participate? How can people sign up?
Yeah, so contestants are always locked 2 weeks in advance, but I really want to grow Seattle and have it be a hub that I return to every 2 to 3 months. So please apply. You can go to loveisn'tblind.com. You can apply to be a contestant. You can also nominate your friends against their will.
I love that. Okay, and what do you think is the biggest mistake people are making just in this modern dating world?
Yeah, I mean, I think we already kind of touched upon it, but I think the apps turn everyone into a checklist. And so I think people are busy looking for their checklist instead of seeing who they connect with. Like, I have to say, the number of women that we interview who are like, he has to be 6 feet. And I'm like, no, he doesn't.
I know.
There was this one woman where I was like, how tall are you? And she was like 5'2". And I was like, he could be 5'6". He's still 4 inches taller than you. And then she was like, what about my heels? I was like, are you a drag queen? You're wearing 6-inch heels? What's happening? You need to get over it.
All my friends would say that to me, and they also would tell me, you don't have a type. So anytime I would think I have this type in my head, they're like, well, how is that working out for you? It's not really working out for you. And the dating apps, like you said, are just kind of based on physical appearance, and if you have personality, you know, it's just,
or even
you need
like
more.
Just stats. Yeah, it's just not an actual person.
Are relationships harder today than you feel like they used to be?
Well, I wasn't alive when they used to be, but I think they're probably harder today.
Yes, definitely. How do you know if you're being picky, like too picky, or protecting your standards when you're dating?
You should be too picky.
Really?
Yes, I think you should be too picky.
Okay,
be picky. Have standards.
Okay, and then do you think that the spark is real, like when you feel that spark sometimes on the first date, or do you feel like that's that nervous, like anxiety energy?
I think the spark is real, but I think people mistake anxiety for like a healthy spark.
Oh, yeah.
I think. But I'm not actually a dating expert. I'm a comedian, and you shouldn't listen to anything that I say.
I like hearing your opinion. It's fun.
I have interviewed like 800 singles because of this show, so I maybe like should consider myself some sort of dating expert now, but yeah.
What do you think matters more than two? Just your opinion, chemistry, or compatibility?
Oh, you gotta have both.
You do?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Dan Savage, and he talks about how like if you don't have that physical element, you're just friends. And like if you're gonna be in a monogamous relationship, that physical element has to be there. Otherwise, like why are you in it? You know, so I think you really have to have both. Yeah. Which is why dating is so tough, but also why I think you should be picky, because I think you can get both.
Oh, I hope you can. Why do you think people are attracted to people that are bad for them?
That one, you need to see a therapist. Don't come to me for that. You need to, but people are attracted to what's bad for them.
Yeah, that bad boy thing is a real thing.
Well, or even just like, supposedly we're all repeating patterns from our childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a tricky one that we need to go to therapy for.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. Okay, do you have one dating rule that you feel like people are just flat out ignoring?
I think people should ignore all of the rules. I think rules are made to be broken.
Ooh,
yeah.
Spicy.
Well, because also I think like all the dating advice we get is so like it all contradicts itself, right? It's like, oh, you're trying too hard, and then you get off all the apps and they're like, oh, it'll happen when you least expect it. And I'm like, am I trying too hard, or is it gonna happen when I least, like, what am I supposed to do here? So I think all the rules are terrible. And I think, to be honest, I could also go on a rant about how I think there's like a whole industry of people preying off lonely single people and trying to get them to like buy courses and books. And I really just think you should have fun and get out there and do things you want to do and have a good time, and like maybe go to a comedy show where I call the men's moms live on stage.
And be yourself, be authentic, because I completely agree with you. If you're overthinking things too much and not being yourself, you're not really showing yourself.
Well, that's another thing about the apps. Is like everyone's putting their like most curated, perfect version.
Totally.
And actually at the show, people will call out from the audience when I'm searching the phones. They'll be like, look at his dating apps. And I'm like, that's already his curated version. Exactly. Like I'm going in his notes app, you know? Yeah.
Amen, as you should. Thank you so much for being here. A reminder, the show is Friday night at the Fremont Abbey Arts Center in Seattle, and the show starts at 8 p.m.